Joining us now is CBS travel editor Peter Greenberg. Peter, thank you for joining us, and let's jump right in. First question, we're all watching what's happening with the travel industry. Could we see a collapse here? We're looking at some of the stock numbers for some of these airlines. It's not looking good at all.
Well, when you think about it, the travel and tourism industry is one of the largest, if not the largest in the world. It's responsible for 1 out of every 10 jobs, but even more importantly, 1 out of every 5 new jobs. And it's not just a cruise line, it's all the associated jobs in that sector that are tied to that ship. Same thing for airlines, hotels, resorts, and spas. And we're seeing a reservation system right now for cruise lines, airlines, and hotels that is essentially, at least in the numbers, has collapsed. And that's why the airlines canceled other flights initially to Asia through May. That's why a number of airlines are teetering on the brink of collapse right now, especially overseas, because there are no forward bookings. If you compare this to 9/11, Americans didn't want to fly over a body of water. They were worried about terrorism. Today it's different. There's been an emotional reaction where Americans do not want to fly anywhere because they don't want to be quarantined and stuck. So they've made a conscious decision to literally, their body language is like this, they're staying home.
Peter, I'm sure people are asking you everywhere you go, should I travel right now? I had someone call me yesterday and say, gosh, I'm thinking about taking my kids to Colorado. Should I cancel the trip or should I go? What do you advise?
Well, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV, but I do listen to doctors. And what they tell me is this. If I'm not a smoker who's over the age of 70, who doesn't have a pre-existing respiratory issue, and I don't have any big mobility issues, then you can start addressing where you want to go on a destination-by-destination basis. That's how I do it. I travel all the time. I have not stopped traveling. I can't tell anybody to travel. I can just hopefully give them the information that will allow them to make informed, intelligent decisions about the choices they want to make.
I know we're jumping around here a little bit, but people talk about travel insurance, and most of the time, many people blow it off. Have we learned lessons about travel insurance because of the coronavirus?
Well, that's a slippery slope because, if you go online to buy a ticket, you can't even complete the transaction unless you opt in or opt out of that insurance without knowing really what it covers. I can tell you this, you cannot get fire insurance after the second floor catches fire. The same thing applies to travel insurance. Right now, if you want to buy trip cancellation and interruption insurance, which is the predominant insurance that you see online when you go to buy a ticket, guess what? There's already an exclusion there in the policy language for the coronavirus. So there is a type of travel insurance you can buy. It's called cancel for any reason. It's an extremely high premium, number one. And number two, I need to caution you that even if you invoke it, you're only going to get back, in the best case, about 75% of the investment you originally had on the trip.
And Peter, the name of the doctor escapes me right now, but a top American doctor, I think it was either this morning or late last night, said that he would not get on a cruise ship, which startled me to read that because I thought it was actually somewhat irresponsible, knowing how many jobs are at stake. But what do you make of that warning, and what kind of a weight do you think it carries?
Well, it wasn't necessarily irresponsible because of the jobs that were at stake, if it were a fair statement. Let's put some context to this. As we're talking right now, there are 365 cruise ships sailing the oceans of the world. They're not in Asia. Those ships have already been repositioned. And of those 365 ships, how many were actually negatively affected or quarantined because of the coronavirus? Maybe 3. That's less than 1%. I'd sooner take a cruise ship than I'd go on the 6th train on the New York City subway system. But the optics here are a little dangerous because what does everybody think about? They think about that princess ship that was quarantined in Yokohama for 2 weeks with our fellow Americans on board, and that picture has an indelible image that resonates even today.
For so many people, travel is that joy, that moment in life or that experience that is a carrot the rest of the year. You book ahead, you look forward to it, your family looks forward to it. Do you worry, Peter, that going forward, what's happening right now could leave a negative impression on people about travel?
In the short term, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. But let's talk about the long term. Our cultural DNA really dictates that we've evolved into a culture where it's not a question of whether we want to travel, we actually need to travel. And sooner or later, we're going to need to get back out. Not want, need. So my hope is that this will resolve itself in about 6 weeks, and then it'll take us about another 2 months to get back on track. But for the next 6 weeks, everybody who's talking about this, either from the medical profession or the travel profession, seems to share the same opinion that it's going to get a little more bad before it gets a little more good.
Deep discounts right now. Should people be booking travel for down the line, given that we don't yet know when this is going to end?
Well, the knee-jerk reaction in the law of supply and demand is always to try to discount your way out of a problem, and we're seeing that already. They don't really have a choice in the matter because there's nobody flying. I was on a flight last night from Miami to New York, and I was the only person basically in my cabin.
Wow.
This never happens on that flight. So you're seeing great discounts. I mean, California to Hawaii for $99. Boston to London fares I've seen as low as $250. You can't fly on the Boston to New York shuttle for $250. So the discounts are out there, but everybody has to determine their own situation on a case-by-case basis about their own medical situation, about the situation on the ground where they're going. And of course, as you mentioned, if you're seeing a situation where the rules may be changing by the hour or by the day as to where you can go and can't go or where you can get back from, you might want to think again.
All right, CBS News travel editor Peter Greenberg, always with some great information and doing a really nice job of trying to keep people calm, which I think is important at a time like this. Peter, we thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Peter.
Anytime, guys.